So I have decided I should not try and make these videos before my morning coffee because I ramble. Anyway, hello and welcome to the midweek message here at Salem Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Aaron Holmgren, and we are here in West St. Paul on Bernard Street. And a couple of announcements on what we are doing here at Salem in the next couple weeks. We have on Saturday our third in a series of Old Testament Bible studies. If you have missed the previous two, do not fear. Those videos are available for you online, and I'm looking at maybe converting them into just audio files for those who can't seem to get the video to work, or maybe the sound quality is not as good. I'm going to try and clean that up and get that out as audio files. So be looking for that, but you can always join us for any of these Bible studies. We have 3 more left, and so our third one is this Saturday from 9 to 11. Following worship on this Sunday, we have for our adult forum an opportunity to learn more about membership here at Salem, what it means to be a member, and all the different opportunities that you have to participate here at Salem. So if you have been a member for a long time and still want to learn about the different groups and opportunities here, please consider coming to that. It should be a fun time and conversation. We also have an OWLS meeting coming up for the Older Wiser Lutherans of Salem. I think that's on Tuesday the 17th. And then we have Feed My Starving Children coming up for October 20th. And those signups are available, or the Feed My Starving Children signup is available in the narthex. We also are doing a book drive for Project Home. If you have gently used, well-loved books for children that you can donate to go to Project Home. We toured the facility early in the spring this past year. Some Salem folks went, and it is beautiful. They have converted this kind of old nunnery into a place for people who are experiencing homelessness, and it's for the whole families. And so these books are going to go on the shelves there so that kids who, when they come back from school, have access to books to read, and parents can read them for bedtime stories, the whole deal. So if you have old books lying around that are, again, gently used or even in crisp condition, please consider donating those for Project Home. And those are being collected in the narthex. We also have coming up our Trunk or Treat, which is going to be Saturday the 28th. And that's going to be at our parking lot behind me, and the lower parking lot on the the east side of our campus. And so if you are willing to decorate your trunk and to be there from 3 to 4:30, setup will probably be about 2:30, just to make sure that we all have our spots designated. So if that's something you can do, please make sure that the office knows and that you have signed up so that we know how many trunks we will actually have for our trunk and treat. We're going to be doing an adult forum coming up on October 15th about the narrative budget. Now, you might have guessed, or you might have figured out, that we are doing our SLC Pledge Drive, which is our stewardship campaign this year. It's in loving mockery of NPRs and PBSs and all those publicly funded places, their pledge drives, which tries to highlight the things that are made possible by sustainers like you, or viewers like you. You've probably heard the spiels, but within our skits each Sunday, we are highlighting 4 major aspects of worship. And you might have seen the pie graph in the stewardship letter that went out. Hopefully you have received your pledge card by now. If not, it might still be here in the office, please reach out if you are looking for your pledge card and haven't gotten it yet. But I wanted to talk just a bit about where we get these numbers, because you might have heard on Sunday that like 52 cents of every dollar goes into worship. And I think in the skit, we said that a Sunday morning worship was, let me just pull the script so I get the number right, around 2,000. Oh, should have had the number ready. Here we go. $2,576 a week, or $215 per month. How in the world did I get that number? Well, like I said, the Adult Forum on October 15th is going to talk a lot more about that, but I thought I'd just kind of explain the method behind the madness. So this is the spreadsheet that I put together our narrative budget for 2023. So this was the budget we approved last year, and I put it into a spreadsheet, and I took every single line item, and I broke it up into these 4 major categories that we have. So education, worship, evangelism, outreach, and fellowship. Because I think those are kind of 4 pillar experiences that we have as a church community, as a community of faith. And as you heard last Sunday, if you were here, 52 cents, that's the majority of our budget goes into the worship experience. And how do we get that number? Well, what I did was I took all these line items and I accounted for them in these 4 big categories. So let me move. I've been working on the little graphs too. You'll see more of those as the month goes on. But and I broke them down by building usage, by salaries, and by just the straight up budgeted worship expenses. So if there is an expense that said like worship supplies, all of that money went into our experience of worship together. But like the building usage, that's a little harder to judge. Well, you think about it, we have to heat the building, light the building, cool the building. We have to do snow removal so that we can get into the building. The office hours used when I'm writing a sermon or when Michelle is making the bulletins, that is heat and lighting and utilities going into the foundation for our experience of worship together. And so that also includes like the salaries. 3 of our salaries are all go into worship. The organist and our 2 directors, all of their salary goes into our worship experience together, because even in their hours of rehearsal and practice, they're preparing that offertory music, the special music, those experiences that lift our spirits and carry the gospel to us in song. And so while it might seem like dollars and cents, those gifts and offerings that you make towards these budgeted line items, towards just the life here at Salem, it transforms into our experiences of worship together. And so that kind of math went into each one of these categories. And yeah, we can get into the nitty gritty and kind of debate, well, do you truly use like 50% of your time preparing for worship? Maybe on some weeks more so, maybe on other weeks less. And so we're kind of running with an average here of an average week here at Salem. But the building usage for evangelism and outreach, we're going to hear a lot more about that for this Sunday. But that is a little more ambiguous because a lot of our evangelism and outreach isn't in the building. And yet the time spent to prepare flyers, the time spent to have committee meetings, to organize events, to prepare people for volunteering experiences, that is the use of our space to create those opportunities of evangelism and outreach. So this is just kind of to show you the how the graphs were made, how these numbers were pulled. They weren't pulled out of thin air. So if we took that full worship amount and divided it by 52 weeks, that's where we got the $2,576. If you're curious. And like I said, I'm going to talk a lot more about this for our adult forum on October 15th. But I thought if you were unable to make it on that Sunday, or you're looking at this narrative budget pie graph that you got in the mail or that you're hearing about on a Sunday morning, and just like, are these numbers made up? They're not. They're an intentional look at what we have budgeted and what we do together here at Salem Lutheran. So if these experiences are something that you find essential within your faith journey, within your life together as the body of Christ, I do hope that you consider making that promise to support Salem in the future. It helps us better prepare because we know what we have to work with. And so we can be efficient and smart with our spending. So to honor your gifts so that we all can experience these things of worship and fellowship and education and evangelism together. So if you have more questions about that, please reach out. But with that, blessings on your week.